Hey there, welcome back to True North Reviews. My name is Ryan, and today we are wrapping up list season 2019. Today's video is probably my favorite of the year because I get to tell you my list for the top 50 albums of 2019. These albums on here make me smile, they make me laugh, they make me cry and feel pure, raw, unadulterated emotion, something I do not know how to do from time to time. But above all else, these are the albums I came back to the most and listened to them over and over and over again. They are what I define as the greatest or best albums of the year. Some have grown on me, some I have lost interest on, and in turn they've fallen down the ranks a bit. But at the end of the year, this is the positioning that I think is best for me. I'd love to hear what is best for you though. Sound off down below in the comments. Tell me your top 5, top 10 kind of list. Also feel free to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me. Okay, so getting into this list, we'll run through about the first half or so pretty quickly before we start making justification for why the albums are where they are. Also be aware that all the links to the albums will be down below in the description, along with any of the full-length reviews that I did for these. Okay, so at number 50, which is always a hard one to rank, we have Vampire Weekend's Father of the Bride. At number 49, we have Post Malone's record Hollywood's Bleeding. At numbers 48 and 47 respectively, we have the emotional All Mirrors by Angel Olsen and the solid pop record of Flamboyant by Dorian Electra. Number 46 goes to the death metal band Blood Incantation and their latest LP, which is sci-fi themed, hidden history of the human race. Ty Segall clocks in at number 45 with his rock album First Taste. Meanwhile, Julia Jacqueline takes home the 44th best record of the year for her delightfully poignant project Crushing. Number 43 belongs to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. They released a couple albums this year, but Fishing for Fishies is the one I enjoyed more of the two. This one is pretty chill, pretty laid back, some good boogie rock. For my 42nd position, we have the alt-rock group of Cage the Elephant, tackling very depressive themes on their record Social Cues. Some of the saddest, but also some of the most fun songs are packaged on this cohesive beauty. At numbers 41 and 40, respectively, we have a couple seasoned veteran artists, the Raconteurs with their return on Help Us Stranger, and Mavis Staples' We Get By. Number 39 sees Nick Waterhouse string together some old-school R&B on a cute and catchy self-titled release. Stormzy is a last-minute yet very well-deserved addition to this list. At number 38, he put out a great grime record in December called Heavy is the Head. Number 37 goes to the Halloween-themed album, still fun to listen to now. It is Kim Petras with her danceable LP, Turn Off the Light. Number 36 is a wonderful return to form for Slipknot, and this is their grueling and relentless metal album, We Are Not Your Kind. Foals are another artist to release multiple albums within the same year. I particularly liked the part 1 of their Everything Not Saved Will Be Lost album series. Pretty expansive, great vocal performances, and good tunes as they deserve the 35th best album of the year in my opinion. At numbers 34 and 33, we have Alice Merton's Mint and Silver Sun Pickups' latest record, Widow's Weeds. Two alternative rock albums that are infectious for different yet both compelling reasons, one very bubbly and energetic, the other relying on urgent compositions. Number 32 is the well-crafted and well-groomed Wallows record, Nothing Happens. Number 31 sees the first entry from a Canadian artist on the list with the Strumbellas and their infectious album, Rattlesnake. Number 30 is Sleater Kinney's The Center Won't Hold, their final album to feature the drummer Janet Weiss. Denzel Curry is at number 29. He makes a return to my favorite albums of the year list with a short yet hard-hitting and punching LP, Zoo. Number 28 goes to Red Hearst's self-titled debut with Jack Antonoff. It is amazing. Number 27 goes to Yellow Wolf's melodic and energized record, Ghetto Cowboy. Number 26 is Ariana Grande's Thank You Next, an inescapable pop record, one of the best that 2019 had to offer. Kicking off the top 25, we have Charli XCX with her slick, futuristic, and at times experimental pop-leaning album of Charli. Top to bottom, this thing is a production dream. I don't think I've heard such high-quality synth work and bass and music like this in recent memory. Number 24 belongs to my boy, Harry Styles, and his sophomore record, Fine Line. A very new release, yes, but I enjoy this thing immensely. I enjoy it a lot. There is a notable thread or theme of grief running through this album, and I think Harry handles himself very maturely while writing some incredible hooks and lovely 70s kind of throwback jams, also modernizing the throwback as well. Wise Blood is chiming in at number 23 on my top 50 albums of the year for Titanic Rising. I anticipate this one to be near the top of many people's lists. I do enjoy it too. I think it's very lush, it's sweet, it's admirable for the comparisons that are made to Joni Mitchell and the Carpenters. I just think there is better. Like what's at number 22, we have the Canadian indie rock group Half Moon Run and their consistently splendid, well-performed alt-rock tunes on A Blemish in the Great Light. Moving on from there, at number 21, we have the frightening and harrowing release from the experimental hip-hop group Clipping. This one is entitled There Existed an Addiction to Blood. This may be long in its runtime, but I think the horror movie themes keep this fresh and invigorated while also keeping you on your toes, keeping you awake. Number 20 is a great album. Yes, know it. It's a great album. It's the Black Album by Weezer. My God, so many people hated on this year. Very well justified if you did, but I will defend its honor because there are too many jams on here. The lyrics on here are dumb. Yes, they're cringy. And yeah, Rivers and the rest of the group, they didn't deliver on their promise of making something similar to Pinkerton. Instead, we kind of got this pop album, but I think the songs on here are still great. I really love the singles Can't Knock the Hustle and Zombies. The introspective and witty side of Weezer came out on High as a Kite, and a few of the songs on the back half are deep cuts that are hard for me to pass up. So the Black Album, it might be a mess to many, I guess really the majority, but it's one of their stronger albums of this decade and one of the best of 2019, in my opinion. Moving on to number 19, we have the Jack Antonoff produced album, Arizona Baby by Kevin Abstract. He is one of the members of Brockhampton. I would say my favorite too, I think. His confessional and therapeutic mode of songwriting is compelling, and the songs on here are backed up with warped yet accessible and friendly sounds. So yeah, if hip-hop isn't your biggest thing, this might be a bit easier for you to get into since the hooks are insanely catchy. Kinda has a bit of a pop sound to it. Speaking of pop, at number 18 we have the pop artist from Canada, Carly Rae Jepsen. She came through with another dazzling and sparkling display of vocals and pure heroine of peppy and poppy production. Her latest record is entitled Dedicated, and coming into this, I wasn't too impressed with the singles, but now I think Party for One is like one of the biggest jams of the year. At number 17, we are moving into the world of math and post-rock. I am of course referring to American Football's third self-titled release. This thing is gorgeously arranged, wonderfully performed, and it is a progressive and entangling listening experience. If you don't sit up late at night pondering the meaning of life listening to this, it's going to be a tough one to get through. That being said, it is also very much a mood kind of album, so tread lightly, but know that this is a soft and soothing record with hooks that will appear out of nowhere in due time. And my God, don't forget to listen to that fantastic collaboration with Paramore's Hayley Williams on Uncomfortably Numb. Brittany Howard is the next artist I want to discuss for her record Jaime. This is number 16. This is also Brittany's first solo project away from the rock band Alabama Shakes. A lot of similar elements to her performances on there, but some songwriting that feels distinct and discreet. She has lovely R&B tunes from her incredible Stay High to Short and Sweet. This is a terrific solo album from one of rock's greatest vocal talents of the decade. Pony is the name of the latest record from Rex Orange County, the indie pop, bedroom pop artist. This is number 15 on my list. It is fantastic, it is climactic, it is rich, it is substantive, it is soulful. We throw in some jazzy instrumentation, some strings too. I do realize that is a straightforward millennial pop kind of record, but I think it's one I have no issue recommending. At number 14, we have the pop record that dominated the mainstream this year. It is by the young sensation of Billie Eilish. It's called When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? Okay, so I didn't think that this would be a notable album earlier this year, but it took the world by storm and certainly changed my idea of what pop should sound like. It might not be the easiest to listen to, so I guess it's leaning more towards the alternative side of things, especially with the ASMR vocals. But with the level of understanding and sheer hook power and the stunning production from her brother, I think Billie is an artist not to be reckoned with, and she is one of the most exciting females in the world of music. And my God, she's still young. She has so much to look forward to. At number 13, I am happy to place Jimmy Eat World's Surviving. This is a rock album by a rock artist. It's a pretty straightforward rock release. It's not reinventing the wheel or anything like that. For me, I just love the chugging and forceful, always moving forward pace on this. I think the guitar riffs are excellent. The lyrics are even more perceptive and thought-provoking, and they just inject this comforting reality that some people would appreciate to hear more often than the pessimistic kind of narrative that is kind of weaved into our social scripts at this point. Yeah, so that is a great album. Moving on from there, at number 12, it's another one of my favorites this year, one of the most anticipated albums as well. It lived up to the hype in my opinion, thank God. It is Coldplay's Everyday Life. This is a down-to-earth and on-the-nose album lyrically. I think it challenged Coldplay to write a few songs with a bit of a gospel tinge, a bit of Afrobeat in there as well. And I think the ambitious approach to write a double LP with Sunrise and Sunset, it paid off. Number 11, we are giving this to Sum 41 with their blunt and blaring album, Order and Decline. I say it like it's the loudest album ever, but it's still controlled, yet I also think it's their best hard rock album type release so far. It is great to see Sum 41 progress from their pop punk roots and master their dynamics, as in their volume, because Order and Decline knows when to be aggressive, it knows when to be softer. I think it's a powerful statement of an album. Okay, top 10. At number 10, we have the critical darling of Lana Del Rey's Norman Rockwell. I never imagined that I would like a Lana Del Rey record in my lifetime. And yeah, it's really good. It's as good as people say it is. I think Lana Del Rey improved on her whiny diva kind of attitude, something that I always thought of as melodramatic and insufferable at times. But her songwriting on Norman Rockwell is so focused. The lyrics are wise beyond her years, and I think it's a tender and wondrous collection of songs that, at this point in her career, she captivated her most skeptical of critics. At number 9, we have the sublime and concept album by The Flaming Lips. This one is entitled King's Mouth, Music and Songs. This is a kind of album that you listen to maybe once or maybe twice, and then you realize that the story is very weird and kind of out there. Either way, you're still comfortable leaving it after 1 or 2 times listening, and you just appreciate its glory, its sublime and mind-melting kind of soundscapes. Next up at number 8, we have the alternative rock band from Manotick, Ontario. This is Colorado, and their phenomenal final album, Retaliation Vacation. The lyrics are what hit home with me the most on this album. I think they are the perfect life lesson for anyone looking to find purpose in their life. They are very applicable to anything that you're going through, if it's a relationship, your career, your faith. The tunes on Retaliation Vacation rival some of their best work on their 2017 record, Born Yesterday, and I think they will be criminally underrated. I'm still here to root for this underdog of an album that not many people will view as career-defining anyways. Moving on from there, at number 7, we have another Canadian artist, this time from BC. They are called Said the Whale. Their latest LP, Cascadia, is a solid record through and through, and I kind of figured this out way back in February. From the moment this record begins, there is a goal in mind. Wake Up literally acts as a wake-up call for the world. It provides the single power along with the tracks Un-American, Record Shop, and Level Best. And I think the glory and beauty of this album is just how balanced the quality of the deep cuts are compared to the singles. I believe there are many songs on here that could be played on the radio, but also appreciated as the small gems they are. Love Always, Moonlight, and Love Don't Ask. These are the 3 songs that come to mind for their heartfelt and soul-reaching hooks. I'm so glad I got to see Said the Whale perform twice this year. It definitely enhanced my enjoyment of this record as well. At number 6, we have the confident and self-loving album by Lizzo, 'Cause I Love You. This has got to own some of the best vocal performances on an album this year. So commanding, so strong, powerhouse vocals. And really, a lot of people are gonna speak highly of this album. I don't think I need to say much when it comes to Lizzo and what others have said about her at this point. I think I'd rather give a shout out to X-Ambassadors for producing part of this record. They came through with explosive and fiery beats and mixing that I think many people will overlook. 'Cause I Love You is made special by Lizzo's personality and vocals, but I think there's more behind the beauty and excellence. Next up at number 5, it's a bit of a change compared to most albums on this list. It's something glitchy and experimental. I don't normally see myself a fan of this kind of music, but Flume, he stole the show on his Hi, This Is Flume mixtape. And yes, technically it is a mixtape. I really don't care what it is. It just has to go on this list because whether the ideas are fleshed out or not, whether they are cohesive, I think the music is too amazing to pass up. The features on here showcase the talent of up-and-coming British rapper Slow Tie as well as JPEG Mafia. This is a 17-track release that will be best enjoyed in its entirety, and I think it's Flume's most daring and engaging release yet. He even followed it up with great singles, so I think this is the prime of Flume. This is the prime of the Australian producer. At number 4, we have the Kenyan-born singer-songwriter J.S. Andara with his magnificent folk album Tales of America. And yeah, I already know what's up. You're thinking, you gave this a 10 out of 10. How is this not album of the year? Well, I still think it is deserving of the perfect 10. Tales of America is something that strikes me more as a definitive album critic kind of score. I definitely see the beauty of the world through the lens that JS has created on this record. I think he makes a really fine artistic statement. There's not a song on here that I dislike. I wholeheartedly enjoy this record. I just unfortunately don't see this on the same level of enjoyment and excitement I get with these next 3 albums. So sometimes the fanboy inside me can overpower the critic, and that's why the top 4 albums are where they are. But on any given day, I could honestly see these flip-flopping because they're all so exceptional. At number 3, we have Pup and their record, Morbid Stuff. My god, these guys are amazing live. If you have the chance to see them, please do yourself a favor. So, Morbid Stuff can seem shouty, angsty, caught up with all the teenage rebellion, but this speaks with my soul. I don't think punk music had anything greater to offer than what is on this record here. And just when you think this album has given you all that it can give, it pulls out another anthemic and overblown call to your rebellious heart kind of song. Morbid Stuff has the best drum performances of 2019. It also has the most masochistic lyrics you can think of, and they are oh so memorable. The production as well from Dave Schiffman is versatile. I can't believe this is the same guy that worked with the Strombellas on their indie folksy rock before. And the energy of the songs on Morbid Stuff really just brings me back to the revolution that was on Green Day's American Idiot. So that's pretty high praise. All right, now at number 2, we have the career-defining and my personal favorite from Tyler, the Creator, Igor. Igor is everything you never thought you would hear from Tyler, the Creator. Maybe sprinkled over a few albums, but definitely not within the same album. Like, this is the most cohesive structure on anything I've heard this year. Tyler's bars are witty and genuine as he's troubled going through this heartbreak. The production is of lower quality, but I think it's kind of the mix of his older sound coming together with the R&B on Flower Boy. I think Igor blows Flower Boy out of the water though. And sure, the album of Igor, the songs on there, yeah, they're gonna make more sense in the context of the record. I'd actually argue that any of my other top 4 picks on this list here have better songs individually, but Tyler's Igor is something that is a complete idea or album. After all, this is the top 50 albums of the year, not the top 50 random collection of songs. So to top the list, we have an album that gives me almost the same kind of experience as Igor does, but I get an even greater sense of finality and reward for listening to the entire thing. Whether it's passively or actively especially, the amount of diverse rock songs that are on this release, they lift me up like nothing else. This is A War on Everything by the Glorious Sons. With this record, I felt the most comfortable giving it the number 1. I was so torn and divided with the top 4 this year. But for A War on Everything, it was always in consideration for number 1. It held its ground. If not, it grew on me even more since my glowing review. The song of the year is on here as well. Pink Motel definitely can be enjoyed as a single, but my god, does it hit even harder when you listen to all the songs leading up to it. A War on Everything by the Glorious Sons took this year by storm. It has my pick for the best Canadian album, the best song for Pink Motel, and it's my favorite album of the year in general. Please give A War on Everything a chance. I think it's an incredibly special album and deserving to be number 1 in 2019. So there you have it. List season is now complete. Those are my top 50 albums of the year. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you're new in town. I'd appreciate that very much. And yeah, 2019 is coming to a close. This was a fantastic year. I can't thank you guys enough. I can't wait to see what 2020 holds. You guys just motivate me, and I love doing this. It's just a fun thing to do. Okay, so thanks for watching. Have a rockin' day.